welcome. I am so excited to have one of my clients on today, Trienne Topp. She is a leadership coach, and we're going to take some time to get to know her, and then also how we created a pre-launch nurture email sequence for her group program launch.
Okay, so we created the pre-launch nurture sequence for that led into your lead group program.
I'm so excited to be here talking about that today.
So we created the pre-launch nurture sequence for that led into your lead group program.
Time to lead. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So how can you tell us a little bit about how did you feel about your copy or your writing in general before our VIP project?
Oh my gosh, when I think about copy, I sit down to write and I'm so much better on video. When I write, this doesn't sound like me or I get too wordy. And one of the things, and now I have Katie working with me who is a genius at it. I don't know how and you did the same thing. You were able to take the conversations that we had, and as you helped me build out those nurture sequences, I would open the email and I'd be like, this is straight from my brain. This is exactly what I'm thinking, exactly what I would say. You also helped me identify some of the things that I needed to think about when it came to my program. What kind of objections would come up and what would my answer to that be? Or other pieces of like, how did I want people to feel when they opened up my emails? What kind of things image-wise would explain my brand or explain that feeling that I would want people to go through? I would say even just going through the questionnaire that you sent me was a great business experience for me, regardless of the emails that came out of it. But I still saved those emails because the way that you structured them and you helped me structure them for my reader has really helped me with with these future emails that I've done since then, just to make them more powerful for the time that people are giving us to spend in their email box.
I love that. If you're listening in, Trienne's talking about the questions. So I send some pre-work questionnaires before I get into the VIP, and I love hearing your feedback about the questions and how it helped you reflect more on your group program, but also more on your brand and what's the feeling that you want to create through your emails, which is really such an important part, because there is a quote by Maya Angelou that I had recently quoted. I'm not going to quote it exactly because I'm terrible at that, but basically she's saying, and people will forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole experience within the email marketing and the email content and the email sequences, is really getting down to how do you want your readers to feel, because that is the emotional connection you're creating there to help them through whatever it is you can help them through. Mm-hmm. I would say come across as just like incredibly encouraging, and it makes me want to open your emails because I know, oh, Trienne is so encouraging. I know that the value I get doesn't have to be a how-to. It could just be the fact that she just sounds so encouraging in her emails, and I want to open it just to feel encouraged for my day. And so
that today, thank you so much. I offered in that was really helpful, because you used the word open, so reminded me of this, is you gave me options for subject lines, and you also gave me options for preview text. And everything that you shared was like this suggestion, and then I would pick whatever worked for me, right? And one of the things that I do struggle with are my subject lines. Like, what's gonna entice someone to open an email? Because you need the information inside of it. But even myself, if the subject line does not catch me, I might just let it sit in my inbox for however long, right? So one of the things, the sequence that you offered was, these are some suggestions for subject lines and some preview text. And that helped me feel like I was putting my own voice to it and making some choices myself also.
Yeah, seeing which one you feel like vibes a bit more with you in that email and your audience. Mm-hmm. I mean, personally, just for myself, when I write to my email list, I come up with at least three subject lines for that one email, and it's to invest 5 to 10 minutes to just brainstorm your subject lines goes a long way, because you can create the best content ever in your email, but if people don't open it, they're not going to see it. If you just spend those 5 to 10 minutes to brainstorm some subject lines, and I always send a preview test email to myself too, because when I see it land in my inbox and I see the subject line, that also changes it a bit too, because I see there with the rest of the emails that I have coming in, and I'm kind of saying, oh, is that something I want to click on or not? It's something that I also do for my clients, is create at least 2, 3 subject lines and preview text, so that you can choose which one you feel like you vibe with. But also, because it is a sequence and automation, you can send this out before your launch every time. And you can look at the email metrics and then see which ones get open more or less. And then you can even go back to those other subject lines and try out the other subject line to see if one gets more opens or not. It's also a great way to use those.
Just today, I was looking at some of my metrics on some of my past emails over the last couple of weeks for this launch we're doing right now. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have a 60% open rate on this. First thing that I looked at was what my subject line was, because I was like, how did that get open? Did I send it at the right time? Did I send
looking at the time, the day, looking at the subject line, just seeing, what caused that to have a high open rate. Yep. That's so great that the pre-work questionnaires really helped you reflect. And then you also felt like you had your voice and your brand voice was there in the emails, because I get that a lot. How do you even, I get from potential clients, they say, how do you even sound like me? And I just have a whole streamlined process that I collect. I take all the brilliance and then I am able to really see, like, oh, this is how we create the voice here. It sounds like you, and it's authentic and genuine. It comes off genuine. What did you get out of our project? Did it feel valuable? Tell us about that.
Oh, absolutely. Not only was it valuable for me for the launch itself, but seeing how somebody else structures emails, and it gave me obviously some different ideas on how I can set things up that way within my emails, just to be more powerful for the reader. Again, they're spending time with us in their inbox, and I want to make sure that I'm using that time valuably for them and appreciating the fact that they are in my world.
Right. Yeah, we really want to respect our readers, because it is their time and their energy to open it up. And so you really do want to create an experience within that, so that they feel like you value them and you value their time and their energy that they put forth to reading the emails. That's a huge thing too. You also to train your email readers to open your emails, because if they feel like they're being valued and they are getting value from your emails, then they're going to want to continue opening emails from you. So it's a win-win for everyone. And I know there were a couple of roadblocks for your for your pre-launch nurture sequence that I thought we could just touch upon here, if that is okay with you. One was the time crunch. I do remember I think we so happily had that week before the launch to create the pre-launch, if I remember correctly.
Like a 3-week time span. That was like a week to create everything, and then 2 weeks to make sure that the sequence went out. So yeah, it was a crunch. And because I'm incredibly busy with different businesses that I help with and that I run, you were so patient with me, where you're like, could you just read that over? Could you just make sure that that's great? And I'll get to it. I get out of work today or whatever. And so you were so patient in that process, and just at the end of the day, it's my launch and it's my program, and you were so supportive. It was a great experience.
That's so great to hear. I really make the experience so that it's just very minimal effort from my clients, because I know you're very busy, and so that's what the pre-work questionnaires are for. So you can just carve out time to do that, which is also adds value not only to the sequence, but as you said, to your business and to your brand and even to your offers. And then from there, I focus on creating this project in, I think last year I did 2 days. Then I moved it to 3 days because of preschool. I got pick up my son from preschool. And then we do one short revision and then that's it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And so after that, then it's done, and then you can go ahead and put it into your CRM. And I feel like that was the other roadblock, was the tech piece.
Mm-hmm.
You were dealing with some roadblocks there too. I didn't know if you wanted to speak to that a little bit.
Still was learning the CRM that I'm working with. We had just built it and just set it up that month, I feel like, if not the month prior to that. So there was still me trying to figure out those things and building the email list itself. And then the other piece of that was, as the launch was happening, you had this great sequence, we had everything going, and then for some reason, something wasn't clicked correctly. It's been 6 months now, so I can't quite remember, but my website was like, it was just not available. So that those emails, a couple of emails did not go out. Something happened with the website, and I just was like, what is happening? But you know what? Again, I learned so much during that time frame and continue to learn even more about that CRM. And I have great support with the CRM from Vanessa and Shanna. And now I have Katie on board as well, and she's learning some of the back pieces of that. We specifically use our social planner, and part of the email sequences that you had created, I was able to also use copy and paste into my social planner. You know, first,
Yes.
she's giving me these all in Google, and I'm going to copy and paste, and that sounds great. But then I was like, I need someone to create these emails. But I learned how to create the email, and because you provided it in a Google sheet, I was able to take those and then create social content.
Yes.
Just an email sequence. It was so many other ways to use it.
Oh, absolutely. I love hearing that. I think because the repurposing potential for any marketing content that you create is huge, because exactly what you said. Yeah, you can take the content from the sequence and parse it out to social. You can even take that content and you can create a series around it. I know you have your YouTube channel. There's just so many ways that you don't have to be constantly creating new content. You use the content that you have, and you're just doing it through different medias that is just more accessible for everyone. Oh, I love hearing that. That's awesome. Yes, the tech was, I remember the tech was a bit
well, and I'm
hard and glitchy.
I just keep thinking to myself, like, I'm a people person, I'm not a tech person. I'm a people person, I'm not a tech person. And then I would be like, I'm going to figure this out because this information is important. I'm going to figure it out. You know, those challenges just make us better people. They make us better business people. And it's an opportunity for me to take that experience. And when I have a client who gets into a tech issue, I can say, you know what? Been there, done that. I am telling you, on the other side of it, you are going to be so proud of yourself. So everything's a lesson or a blessing.
Yeah, I feel like personally for myself, I went through that tech mind shift just this past month, where I feel like I feel okay about tech. I don't feel super confident. And now I got through I had some shifts around that, and now I just feel like even though I may come across tech issues, I can handle them because I'm just seeing it differently, and it feels like a game to me now, and it's fun, which before it was not fun. I'm just like pulling my hair and wanting to throw things, and I'm like, oh, actually, I can figure this out. This is a game.
It was like ugly crying and throwing. I wanted to sit here and just be like, I'm done. But it worked out. It all worked out.
Yep. I got one last question before we wrap up. What's the most important thing that people should know when they're considering investing in this My VIP Done For You service?
What's the most important thing? Repeat that for me one more time.
Sure. What's the most important thing that people should know when they're considering investing in My VIP Done For You service?
I would say the most important thing is the time it takes to fill out the forms. While you're filling it out, again, I got some great reflective time for myself and for my business. But when I originally went into it, I thought, oh, I'll be able to just fill this out. It's going to be easy. I'm just going to go in and check off some boxes and put some sentences or whatever. It did take me longer than I expected it to, but there was a reason for that. It took me longer because it made me think. And the more information I realized that I was able to give you, even in my own words, the even better the project turned out. I would say I underestimated the time, but by the time I was finished with it, it was well worth it.
That's good to know. Thank you so much for sharing that. Well, thank you, Trienne, for coming on and talking about your experience working with me. And if anyone is listening right now or to the replay, if you are interested in my VIP Done For You service, I create email sequences so that really it can be automated and you can use them again and again. And kind of what Trienne was talking about, you can repurpose it for all kinds of your marketing content. You can just DM me on Instagram. And Trienne, I'd love to know
this amount of times.
Oh, gosh.
Whatever it is. And then the 3 ceremonies, you can have a fee for each
So
ceremony.
sorry, I can't get it to stop.
Closing and then the group. Just list those out.
Oh no!
Whoever Saki could come join us.
It was all of a sudden, it was this Zoom meeting that I'm supposed to be in a few minutes. And I was just like, whoa, it's talking. Oh, I know, I'll be there.
Okay, sorry. We'll wrap up real quick then. Let people know how they can connect with you. And if you want to promote anything, please let us know.
Oh, of course. We are in the Female Leader headquarters over on Facebook. That is our women's networking group that we specifically talk about next level leadership, have those conversations about how we can be better leaders in our business, but also in our lives. And specifically, I would say a lot of our content recently, we've just started putting some content out on TikTok where I'm at Trienne Topp, just like on Instagram, I'm at Trienne Topp. And then over on YouTube, we're at Be That Create That with Trienne Topp. And there we are also doing a podcast called Be That Create That. A lot of people get their information in different ways. The repurpose is incredibly important. So we just try to get to all the ways that serve people the best with the information that we're sharing out.
Awesome. Hello, welcome for joining us at the very end. We're just wrapping up. Definitely connect with Trienne and check out her podcast, YouTube. I know she's got such great content, and I feel like your personally just comes out so much in your content, whatever that is. Thank you so much for joining today. Thank you for everyone coming and listening, and have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.